Hello everyone, welcome to the interview of the short film Snake created by Meow Mate Squad. We all know that this story is based on true events that happened in Meow Mate Squad's life, which later on after this interview, I'm going to be doing a timeline talk about the entire short film Snake, which I've done in the past with my stories and how they all connect. Before that happens, we're going to interview Meow Mate Squad and talk about the short film Snake, and a bunch of other questions. First question, what made you want to animate this short film?
I've been watching Fears to Fathom and watching a few short films. I wanted to heal through exposure therapy after seeing my dad do it. I also wanted this film to be a warning for young artists. I don't want another kid to go through what I went through.
Second question, what was the most frustrating scene to animate in Snake?
In terms of frustrating, I'd personally say the texting scenes, mainly because it's super repetitive. When I do frame by frame, at least there is something new.
Now, what was the most easiest scene to animate?
Easy scenes consist of the texting scenes and scenes where there is little animation, like Dolt blinking.
Alright then. Now, after going through these events and having to animate them, was it painful or even emotional to animate?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was especially after I started to put in the text that it really sunk in for me. I often got cold feet making it, worried to publish it. I was still making it when Stalker and his friends started to harass me when I was in the middle of making Snake.
Dang. Wow, that's crazy. Now, the parts, Addict, Toxic Friend, and Stalker. Which one of these was the hardest to deal with, emotionally?
Emotionally, Toxic Friend when I made the sound design, but it's been recently shifting to the Stalker after the recent harassment.
Now, this is probably questioned by the viewers. Why are these people referred to as snakes?
Snake has a double meaning. It could refer to the animal or it could refer to a deceitful person. Because these people betrayed my trust, they are snakes. The bites are also symbolic, representing the bad effects they had on me, and how the marks never really left.
Now people wonder this, what is the meaning behind the Lenbin plushie crying?
The Lenbin plushie cries at the end because it's like he was watching the entire thing unfold. Lenbin is my most well-known character, as well as the character I've had for a very long time, so it's like he's watching me. He cries because he basically sees the trauma that I went through. He feels sorry for me.
Now, after creating the short film and healing from the trauma, do you think there will be more short films involving your stories like the Lennon Story Archive?
Maybe, I'm not sure. It was like those videos were practice for when I made Snake. Since this was the very first time I made such a long animation, it might not happen soon, but it's a possibility. I might do it again.
Now, last question. What is next for you?
A lot of things will come. Music, more Lennon Story Archive videos, animations, drawings, everything really. I know that a lot of cool new videos will be coming out in the future when I eventually make them.
Well, you heard it here first, everyone. Thank you, Meow Mate Squad, for being here today. And everyone, make sure to go watch the short film Snake and show some love to Meow Mate Squad. This was one of the longest animations she's ever done. Make sure to go check it out. And remember, get your plates ready because dinner is about to be served. Stay safe out there, everyone. Now, on to the timeline talk. Enjoy. This is the full timeline talk about the short film Snake created by Meow Mate Squad. I'm going to be summarizing the entire story from 1 to 3, and each part is going to be going by their own timeline, with the epilogue being a part of the timeline. Before this video starts, make sure to like the video and subscribe to don't miss any new videos. And make sure to check out Meow Mate Squad's channel, since this story was animated by her and based on true events she went through. The story was made not to harass anyone. The story was made for her to heal from that trauma. If you're familiar with Fears to Fathom, then pay close attention, because this might teach you a lesson and make you have awareness of parasociality. Part 1. Addict. September 11th, 2022. Dolt, who is known as Max on YouTube. In the middle of the night at 2:10 a.m., an old friend was trying to get Dolt's attention and trying to ask if Dolt makes gifts and drawings on Ibis Paint. Dolt is asleep, so she's not answering right now. Crown is not getting a response in the next 10 minutes, so Crown starts texting again trying to wake her up. 16 minutes later, she tries to call her and doesn't pick up, so she calls her again and doesn't answer again. Crown is aware that she's asleep, but still questions why she's not answering. For a whole minute, she starts spamming for her to wake up over and over and over again. Not even 10 minutes, she still tries to wake her up. Over 10 minutes already, it's already 3:06 a.m. and Crown is still trying to wake her up. It's already been an hour and Crown asks her the question again and still gets no response. Another hour has gone by and starts spamming again to wake her up. It's now 6:13 a.m. and Dalt finally wakes up and finally replies, but then also realizes all the messages she was spamming and notices she was probably asking if she can make drawings for her. Which this is only the beginning of the spamming. A week has gone by. During a school day in science class, while Dalt is taking notes, she gets a message from Crown asking if she finished her stuff yet, which she replies no, that she's going to be busy for a while. Knowing that Dalt has one day left of the weekend, Crown wants Dalt to finish the second drawing she made for her, which Dalt explains that she's going to be busy during the weekend. But Crown chooses to ignore that fact and still wants her to draw it. Dalt is getting really stressed out due to the fact that Crown doesn't know how to be patient and let Dalt take her time and get her work done before she does anything else. This has been going on for a while already, and Dalt's mother tells her that she needs to stop talking to her due to the fact that she's starting to get really stressed out about this and can't take it anymore. So Dalt thought it was finally time. She gets ready to finally tell her. Crown doesn't believe it at first. Dalt tells her it's not her decision, but Crown tries to ignore the fact that she's going to start not talking to her no more. Dalt is getting really frustrated that she is not listening, so she goes to her account and finally blocks her. But that wasn't the end. Dalt feels guilty for blocking her, so she ends up unblocking her and starts talking to her again. But nothing changed. She kept spamming and asking for fan art, and even yelled at Dalt when she didn't want to draw for her. This wasn't the first time she blocked her and felt bad about it, and unblocked her again. Until she actually finally had enough, and I mean enough. She blocked her and hasn't spoke to her since 2024. Part 2. Toxic Friend. A few years ago, the toxic friend, also known as Tail. She was friends with Dalt for quite a while and started asking for drawings and begging her to add her characters to her stories. Sometimes when Dalt wouldn't want to draw for her or add her characters, she would end up being very toxic to Dalt. And then after a while, Tail started commenting and talking to one of Dalt's friends on his channel, which he started being very fond of her and appreciating the support she was giving him. But this was only the beginning of the toxic friend. The friend started noticing the toxicity, but didn't find it as a really big problem at first. But then after a while, Tail would rush Dalt and the friend to post an update about their stories and would not be patient with them to take their time on it. Also due to the fact that Tail doesn't animate and she doesn't understand the hard work. Dalt and the friend started to feel very hurt with all this toxicity. March 17th, 2024. Dalt had just finished a video that took her so long to do that it was a video for the friend. She recreated a scene in one of his videos, and the video was going to be on live premiere. Everyone was happy with how it turned out. But Tail? She said it was a disappointment on the live chat. That was the breaking point for Dalt, since this was not the first time she said something like this. A few minutes later, while Dalt was playing one of her favorite games, she gets a notification on YouTube that she was mentioned by Tail in one of her videos. Dalt sighs. After what she just said after the video, she already knows this video is not going to be good. And by not good news. Which of course it was, and she says that this video ended up being a little disappointing, and it's on the list of disappointing videos. Dalt comments trying to wonder what she did wrong in this video, which she replies back and says she was expecting it to be more unique, even though it was. And also complains that she said that this video was going to be longer than 2 minutes, even though it was, because it was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. she really doesn't know what she did wrong, and she didn't do anything wrong. The next day, during a school day in the morning at the library, Dalt was drawing what she was feeling about the situation. And the amount of times Taylor has hurt them and how they forgave her millions of times, but she still goes back to being the toxic friend. The bell rings and she gets ready to go to class. In the mind of Dalt, she's starting to realize nothing changes when she forgives her. She can't take it anymore. But at the same time, she feels like she's doing the wrong thing when she isn't, and believes she'll probably be different this time. But she can't take it anymore. No matter how many times she forgives her, it won't be any better. She's finally had enough. So Dalt and the friend finally cut her off. Recently in 2025, Dalt and the friend contacted Taylor about the short film Snake, and to not cause any problems, and it turned out pretty well. So now this situation is better than it was before, and they negotiated about the situation, and now they feel better about it. Till this day, they're still not friends with her, but feel more better about her. Part 3. Stalker. June 2nd, 2024. While Dalt is chilling and listening to music, she texted her friend Jacob saying that she's worried she's being stalked. Jacob was just a little confused when he saw that comment. But once Dalt showed him the post that the stalker posted about trying to find her, oh, bro knew exactly what was happening. A few days later, in the morning, while Dalt was asleep, Jacob texts Dalt and sends her an image about what the stalker posted recently. This post was literally an attack to Dalt and her friends, saying that he's a bad guy and he's toxic, and calling Dalt's friends competitors, and saying that he wanted to report one of her friends, which he also confirms that he is jealous that they are getting the attention, and hates to see anyone succeed. While Dalt was chilling and drinking root beer and looking at Discord, she gets a message from her friend Hat asking if she's okay right now. Dalt explains everything to Hat, which he says he's willing to help. Hat finds his channel and sees the recent post he sent. How Hat is willing to help is by getting information from the stalker from his comment section. Dalt knew exactly this was a good idea, also the fact that he doesn't know who Hat is. But later on, Dalt texts Hat bringing some crazy news. The stalker sent her a friend request. Hat asks, "Is that him?" Which Dalt replies, "Yes it is." Hat knew that this was their chance to get the information they needed. So Hat asked Dalt if she could send him his contact. When she did, he found him. Hat was going to keep her updated. Now it's time for Hat to go undercover and get the information they need and find out what the stalker really wants. Hat shows Dalt the entire conversation he had with the stalker. Hat DMs the stalker asking if he's a Max fan, which he confirms he is. Hat ends up becoming buddies with the stalker to get the information. Hat shows the first conversation he had with the stalker and sent it to Dalt. He also sent her screenshots, and one screenshot caught her attention. Hat says it might be a group chat or something, which Dalt asks when he has the chance, can he ask the stalker what it is. When Hat finally had the chance to ask what it is, he was also wondering if it was a server about Max fans. After what he just replies, he knows it has nothing to do with Max fans. And the stalker confirms that it's a Max Discord finding group. Hat already knew exactly what he was doing. The stalker also says that it's now useless because he already found her DM. Which the stalker also confesses that he attacked all her friends because he wanted to gain some respect and make her notice him more. Hat also questions how many people were in the fighting group, which he answers maybe 3 to 4 people. The stalker starts catching on a little bit, and is having that feeling that Hat is consulting him. And that's when he drops the bomb right on him. Hat literally shows the stalker his own post. The stalker is completely speechless. And then the stalker says that the doxing was a joke, which Hat still doesn't buy it because how could that be a joke? And why didn't he explain it to her in the first place? Hat lets him know that if he wanted to be recognized, attacking her friends was not going to make it work, and that his whole entire personality was a lie. And all of this that he just posted about is not something you can call a joke. Hat explains to him that he's also a Max fan, and everyone has the right to make friends, and Max is not just for him. and doesn't understand why he decided to report one of her friends, and that they're not competitors to him and it's not okay for him to want to destroy them, and lets him know that he is very parasocial and he doesn't think that Max would ever want to be his friend, and tells him to stop trying to get to Max. After all that, the stalker finally understood what he just did. Hat tells him that he's finally going to delete this DM. Recently in 2025, Doll created a blacklist about the people she didn't want to talk to or communicate on DMs. The stalker was one of them, and he didn't like the fact that he was being called a stalker, even though it was used past tense that he stalked her. So the stalker and his friends started harassing her and telling her to give the stalker a chance and treat him like a human being, even though they didn't treat her like a human being at all. His friend recently confirmed that the stalker is a teenager and that the stalker was drunk when he sent that post, which in reality that's not a defense because that means he meant what he said. The stalker's friend also made excuses about the finding group and that it was a fan club even though had asked if it was before. Another friend of Doll also had a conversation with the stalker about Snake, and he really wasn't happy about it, and the conversation didn't go too well until the stalker finally stopped. Doll just finished animating her short film Snake, and the bites on her arm still remain till this day. As she looks at the finished film, her Lenbin plushie cries, meaning that the plushie witnessed everything that happened. Till this day, the snakes still lurk. We've come to the end of the timeline talk of the short film Snake. Make sure to check out the full video and check out Meow Mate Squad's channel, link in the description. This animation was so worth the wait. And again, this animation was not meant to harass anyone. This was meant for Meow Mate to heal from that trauma. I hope you all learned something today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.